Let's go through the best fast passes for Epcot on this week's episode of the Theme Park Hipster Show. Hey, Theme Park Hipsters! It's your host, NikkyJ, the owner of ThemeParkHipster.com, where I help you plan the best solo theme park vacation with the latest tips, reviews, personal stories, and more. Today, guys, we have another spectacular episode. That's right, we are going to go over what are the best rides that you need for your FastPass on your solo Epcot trip. But first, I want to invite you to go over to the brand new Theme Park Hipster app. There you can find theme park planning tips, photos, videos, a nice fun trivia game that you can play while waiting in line. You can also find me and other solo theme park travelers on the app, and we can all message each other and get to know each other before our own solo trips. You can find the app over on the Apple App Store. Also, if you ever have any news, tips, or comments, you can message me directly inside the app or email me at themeparkhipster@gmail.com. What is up, guys? And like I said, today we are going to go over to my favorite theme park in the world, which is Epcot Center, as old days it was called. And we're going to talk about what are the best fast passes to get at Epcot, how to snag them with some tips. We're also going to go over my perfect solo Epcot itinerary and some of the things to look out for when you are choosing those fast passes for Epcot. Now, just in case you do not know, Epcot has always been thought of as Walt Disney's more adult-friendly theme park, but that doesn't mean that the little ones wouldn't like it. Its goal is to kind of help you live and understand different cultures, the world of today, the world of tomorrow, and all the things that you can do to make this world a better place. Yeah, it may sound cheesy, but that's what Epcot is about, and it's the most spectacular theme park in the world, yes. Although there aren't many rides here, the rides that are at Epcot, they do come with a purpose. And that's why today we are going to go over the 3 fast passes that you must snag for your Epcot trip. Before we get into those 3 rides, you may be thinking, what the heck is a fast pass? Just in case you do not know, the Disney Fast Pass is a system that allows you to make your reservations about 60 days in advance if you have made your reservation through them. If not, then you can get your Fast Pass reservations 30 days in advance. The good thing about this system that I really like is that if you have any must-do attractions, then you can make sure that you secure your spot, book your fast pass, and know that you're going to get on that ride when you get there, at least as long as it doesn't break down. Currently, you can use the fast pass system at all 4 of the Walt Disney World theme parks, which are the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Today, we're going to focus strictly on Epcot and the rides that I recommend for your fast pass. The first ride is Soarin', also known as Soarin' Around the World, and this ride is located in the Land Pavilion in Future World. This ride is a flight motion simulator that takes you around the world, kind of like you're on a hang glider. It is one of the most spectacular rides at Epcot, which is why the line is usually always long, and the fast passes, although not as difficult as they used to be in the past, they still can be difficult to get if you have a very perfect time you're trying to get them at. While you are on this ride, you're going to view some of the most iconic landmarks of the world, such as the Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, the pyramids over in Egypt. You're going to see the Taj Mahal, and you're even going to go over a safari in Tanzania. Those are just some of the things that you see. I don't want to ruin the whole surprise, but I love this ride. All the times that I've been on it, whenever it concluded, everyone always gave it an applause. When your theme park ride gets an applause, you're doing something right. The next fast pass that you must have for your solo trip is Test Track. Now, Test Track is a hit or miss. If you have ever rode the Cars ride over at Disney's California Adventure, then you know that the rides are similar. Test Track used to be called World of Motion back in the 90s, keeping Epcot weird days. And it was one of those slow, dark rides, which I loved. I still remember this ride as a kid. And it just took you through the transition of transportation in mankind. Now it's all futuristic when you walk up the Test Track. You'd have never thought that World of Motion was even here. Here you'll go through a simulation as if your vehicle is being tested and put through rigorous things to make sure you have a quality vehicle. And then at the end, you're gonna test the speed of your car that can clock out around 60 miles per hour, which made it one of the fastest attractions at Walt Disney World when it first opened. The thing with Test Track that you may be able to get by with is that sometimes I will skip on the Fast Pass for Test Track, mostly because the single rider line, I can skip all that build car stuff. If you've never been on Test Track, then definitely take advantage of the Fast Pass line so that you can build your car, customize it, do all that. But if you just want to get straight to the ride and single rider line is short, go through there because trust me, it moves the quickest out of all the 3 lines at Test Track. The next Fast Pass that you're going to want to get on your solo Epcot trip is the Frozen Ever After ride. This is a log flume attraction at Epcot that replaced Maelstrom. And Maelstrom was another classic Disney attraction, dark ride, that took you through some of the famous Norwegian folklore. When you are on Frozen Ever After, you're going to go through Arendelle, and there you're going to see Princess Anna, you're going to see Queen Elsa, and you're going to get some little surprises here and there while you are touring Arendelle. You're also going to get to hear and sing some of your favorite songs from Frozen. And while you're on there, you're going to recognize that the track is similar to Maelstrom. So you're going to have that famous drop, not that big of a drop, but that famous drop that you may remember from Maelstrom, which I still like because it just reminds me of the old days of Maelstrom, the boat going backwards. And yeah, I still like that. So this is definitely a Fast Pass that you must have on your trip. An honorable mention that I will add is Spaceship Earth. The only reason why I say that is because sometimes the line is just too long for Spaceship Earth. I am not waiting more than 10 minutes for Spaceship Earth. But because it is one of the first attractions that you see when you walk through the gates of Epcot, because Spaceship Earth is inside the big golf ball, people see it and they're like, let's go. You can usually wait till the end of the day, but why not just get a Fast Pass? Go ahead and knock that out and then save your Fast Pass. And then instead of getting a Fast Pass for Test Track, you can just go through the single rider line. That's just my little tip, but you can work it out how you want to work it out. So let's just quickly review what my top 3 Fast Passes that you must get for Epcot: Soarin', Test Track, and Frozen Ever After. Now, one of the things that I do want to mention is that the Fast Pass system does work in tiers, meaning there are 2 tiers. One is Tier 1 and the other is Tier 2. With Tier 1, you can only choose one of the attractions in that tier if you're trying to do pre-bookings. In Tier 2, you can book multiple ones within that one. Unfortunately, all of our must-do Fast Passes are in Tier 1. But if you are not going to be planning out your day so strictly, you could just get one of the Fast Passes in Tier 1, which is Frozen Ever After. Then you can grab the Spaceship Earth Fast Pass, which is in Tier 2, and leave the other Fast Pass slot open. So when you go ahead and you knock out one of your Tier 1, like Frozen Ever After, and then you knock out Spaceship Earth, you can find a Test Track one really quick, which will go through some tips and tricks on how to snap those Fast Passes the day of. And you can make sure that you can see all your Fast Passes in one day. So now that we are talking about Fast Pass tiers, Tier 1 at Epcot contains Frozen Ever After, Soarin', Test Track, and the fireworks show. Tier 2 is the Pixar short film, Journey into the Imagination with Figment, Mission Space, Spaceship Earth, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, and Turtle Talk with Crush. Those are all in Tier 2. Now that you know how the tiers work, I want to give you some Fast Pass tips for your solo trip to Epcot. The first thing you want to do is to make sure that you do book your Fast Passes early as you can, or that your window opens, at least just to snap that must-do Fast Pass attraction that you want to see. The next thing you want to do is that you want to schedule some of your Fast Passes that they may start either earlier in the day or later in the day, depending on when you plan on going. If you do snap them earlier in the day, you may be able to get another one later in the evening. You want to also make sure that you have the My Disney Experience app downloaded on your phone. That way you can keep up to date with the wait times, and you can also make changes to your FastPass reservations right there inside the park. Now, when it comes to trying to snap that famous FastPass the day of, you're going to always want to select your theme park, which is Epcot, select your date, and then the time. If you are in the park at that time, just pick a random time that you're there. Then you're going to refresh. Go back out, refresh, go back out, and just keep refreshing that page until your time comes up. It takes patience, but it does work. And I can attest that I have received Frozen Ever After FastPasses the day of, sometimes within an hour of me checking the app. So it's just all about patience in this FastPass game. Okay, guys? Now, this is one of those bonus tips. I just want you to know that although you can only make 3 FastPasses bookings in advance, just know that once you use all your FastPasses, you can go back and make new FastPass reservations for that day. Or if you are park hopping and you have used all your Epcot FastPasses, you can go over to the Magic Kingdom and make some new FastPass reservations. That is it, guys. Those are my top FastPass Plus rides that you must snap for your solo Epcot vacation. Before we end, I want to insert a quick Epcot itinerary so that you can plan out your day perfectly. And we're going to do it from inside the Epcot theme park. Yes, that is the sound of the monorail in the background here at Epcot, Walt Disney World's top theme park, at least in my opinion. And while I am out here on my solo trip, I want to give you my perfect one-day itinerary, give it to you quickly so we can head right back into the studio. The first thing you want to do before you even get here is to download the park map and guide. Once you have that, you're going to want to book your FastPasses before you get here. That is important, guys. Like, please do that. Whenever your FastPass window open up, get those FastPasses. The next thing you want to do is to get a photo in front of Spaceship Earth when you come here to Epcot. That big old golf ball that you see when you're walking around, that is a must-do photo spot. After you have that epic photo, you're going to go on to the Land Pavilion where you're going to ride Soarin' around the world. And after Soarin', Living with the Land, which is my favorite ride, Living with the Land. After you are done with the Land Pavilion, you're going to head over to the Imagination Pavilion where you're going to ride Figment's ride and go and journey through his imagination and yours too. After you enjoy your adventures with Figment, you're going to head over to Seas with Nemo and Friends. And after you are done with that ride, explore the pavilion. There is a gigantic aquarium inside of the Nemo and Friends pavilion, and it used to be the largest in America until, Atlanta's aquarium came and beat it. After you have fun with Nemo and all his aquatic friends, you're going to head on the other side of Future World and ride Mission Space and Test Track. Mission Space is a little intense. It's a flight simulator like you're on a spaceship, but it's, if you're not really into claustrophobia or you have motion sickness that's really bad, I would probably skip that and just go over to Test Track because Test Track is awesome. Once you are done with those 2 rides, you want to have lunch at La Cantina de San Angel, and that is in the Mexico Pavilion. And after lunch, you want to head over to ride the 3 Caballeros, which is a boat ride, and it is a classic Disney-style boat ride, dark with lots of music and animatronics, my type of Disney ride, and one that you'll love on your solo adventure. After the 3 Caballeros, of course, no adult trip to Epcot is not complete without a little adult beverage. So definitely stop at La Cava del Tequila and grab you. Well, right now, my favorite drink right now is the sangria there. But that avocado margarita, I know you're like, avocado margarita don't go together. Trust me, they go together. Go ahead and do that. After you leave La Cava del Tequila, you're going to head over to Norway and ride Frozen Ever After. That's if you got that FastPass, because if you don't, you'll be waiting for about an hour and a half to 2, depending on the day. After Frozen Ever After, explore Norway and then head over to the China Pavilion to watch Reflections of China in the theater. It is a beautiful show that shows you the country and highlights all of its top tourist attractions and cultural spots that you must visit yourself one day. After you are done with the China Pavilion, you want to head over and explore Germany Pavilion. And while you're here, you can actually sign up to do something that's called a wine walk, where you can grab 2, I believe right now you can get 2 different types of wine from 3 countries. Currently, Germany is one of the countries you can get your wine. Italy is another one, and France is where you could end up your wine tour if you start in Germany. After you have finished your tour over Germany, you're going to want to go over to the American Pavilion and watch the American Adventure Theater show. The show is kind of long, so it's a nice place to go if you want to take a break from the heat here in Florida. After you are done with the American Pavilion, you want to walk over to the Japan Pavilion, which is spectacular. Definitely discover all the nooks and crannies here. There's some beautiful Japanese gardens and just a nice place to relax, find some shaded area, and just take in the epic solo day you are having. It's a nice place to take a break, post some of your photos online, let people know that you're having the most spectacular solo Disney trip. After you are done with the Japanese Pavilion, visit Morocco, because Morocco is just as gorgeous as Japan. I mean, World Showcase here at Epcot is amazing. And while you're at Morocco, definitely go through all the doors, all the nooks and crannies, even doors you don't think you can kind of open. They really lead to something that's spectacular, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for you on your solo trip. After you are done with Morocco, you want to go over to France and watch Impressions de France. I love this beautiful show. It is kind of dated, but I mean, the views of this beautiful country and the soundtrack to the show alone just makes you go into another place. It's so magical. Once you are done with France, you want to make your way over to the United Kingdom Pavilion and explore all the shops there. You may even want to stop at the pub there and grab one of my favorite drinks, which is the Leaping Leprechaun. After you are done with the United Kingdom Pavilion, you want to head over to Canada and watch Oh Canada. I love this show too. Guys, I know, I love all the shows here. But Oh Canada, fun fact about Theme Park Hipster, when I watched Oh Canada a few years ago, it actually inspired me to travel to Canada. And that's when I went over and I visited Toronto and I went over to Niagara Falls, and it was one of the best trips I've ever had, because if you don't know, Toronto in the summertime is like heaven. After you are done exploring Canada, you want to go ahead and ride Spaceship Earth, because you cannot come to Epcot and not ride Spaceship Earth. And yes, that is the globe, the big old golf ball that I talked about at the beginning of this segment. After you are done with that, grab you a nice spot to watch the beautiful fireworks here at Epcot, and you have just completed your one-day adult solo theme park trip here at Epcot. Now, let's go back to the studio. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the Theme Park Hipster Show. Remember, if you have any tips or comments, feel free to leave them over at the Theme Park Hipster app, or you can call me or text me at 407-906-0912. Again, that number is 407-906-0912. Be sure to rate and review this episode. That way others can find it and I can continue to leave you theme park hacks and tips tailored just for you. And I want you to know that you are my friend and you are my family, whether you know that or not. And until next time, happy park hopping hipsters. The content on the Theme Park Hipster Show represents my own and not those of any organizations or activity mentioned. I am just someone here who likes to share my own stories to you and hope that I can help you have the best vacation ever.